Hey guys, welcome to my very first YouTube video. We're basically going to be talking about um, why I started as an artist and why my studies along the way basically incorporated a lot of fan art. And in fact, it still does incorporate a lot of fan art. Um, Gosh, I mean, I was always big into a lot of movies and a lot of cartoons, and I always did it when I was a kid. I always drew a lot of cartoon characters, comic book characters. I loved X-Men. Spider-Man was cool. Just like all the old like 80s sci-fi movies. I just loved that stuff, and so it was, and it was accessible to me, whether we went to the store and rented, or, or if you're streaming or whatever it is, like, it was accessible. It was always there for you, right? And so I basically, when I decided that I was going to start to draw and take it seriously, I was one of those artists that was just like, what am I going to do? What am I going to draw? Like, how can I, you just kind of have that art block, right? Well, me personally, I was like, what? I'm going to just draw like fan art and characters and just kind of incorporate my anatomy studies. I was studying, Andrew Loomis and George Bridgman, and, you can name drop anybody, right? And so I did a lot of that. I did a lot of fan art, and I still do to this day, and I probably always will. And we won't get into the legality of fan art and this and that. Basically, the gist from everyone, if we know the facts, is that as long as you're staying away from Disney, and I think there's like one other company, like as long as you're not making a killing, like, no one really comes after you. But because basically it's good for them. You know what I mean? That's like free free ads for them, like, you're putting out the character Wolverine, or you're putting out the character Final Fantasy characters, or whatever it is, right? You drawing Avengers. I mean, that's just free publicity for them. You know what I mean? That's just putting it out there, out of sight, out of mind. But if you're saying that all the time, you're like, oh right, I wouldn't mind watching Endgame again, like, if you don't own it, or so yeah, and that's the thing is that I didn't have a lot of friends as kids, and so that's what I did. Is I read a lot of comic books, and I had a lot of fandoms, a lot of fandoms, not big fandoms, but relatively decent, kind of casual fandoms. So yeah, and that's kind of that's what helped me improve as an artist. That's kind of the gist of what I'm saying, is that if you're an artist out there, and you have a blank page, well, just think about the things that you like. You know what I mean? Say if you're studying anatomy, you are studying, maybe you want to, oh gosh, you have you're learning perspective. You have a certain exercise. What would be great is to draw Spider-Man, or to draw him, above some buildings. It doesn't have to even be pretty, because you don't know perspective, right? You're just practicing. Practice him swinging or something like that along the rooftops. So that just was really going to help you improve as an artist, in my opinion. Like, and it's up to you. That the whole argument about whether you want to sell your fan art or whatnot, a lot of people are just going to disagree with that. I don't have an opinion. You do you. But I will just say that for me personally, it helped me. I mean, just period. It helped me. And it still helps me, because a lot of my studies that I do, I will still draw fan art when I want to apply something. I'll be like learning a foreshortening, and I'll be like, what? I want to draw Bakugo, for My Hero Academia, or I want to draw Spider-Man. If I'm learning a little bit of perspective, like, it's just it can help so much if you just don't need to think about what you're gonna draw. You don't need to be too creative. You're not trying to be the next masterpiece, like some type of, like, heady idea, some type of esoteric idea. You don't need that. If the whole point of of learning perspective or learning anatomy, you just want to learn it, right? Well, then what does it matter? What you draw, you're just trying to get the lesson down. You're just trying to get the knowledge and apply it and retain it. Just do something you love. Just draw some fan art. That's always going to be the easiest way. You know what I mean? And then when you want to apply it, and you say you have your ideas that basically come from could only come from you. I would definitely, I would do something a little bit more personal. And that's kind of the biggest thing, the thing that a lot of people don't really talk about, maybe they do, is why someone would draw fan art. And I think that's just it's the most obvious thing, right? It's, especially like I said before, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I still don't. It's just kind of how, the thing goes, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I kind of realized that it's not really for me. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have friends, but it's just I'm a introvert, I just want to be mostly on my own, with the only people that I really, really trust. Trust is a big thing with me. So, and that's the thing with fan art and people you watch or video games you play, and these characters like Link here, what makes the greatest stories? It's the coming of age stories. You know what I mean? It's the people who basically don't think too much of themselves, and because other people don't think much of them, and they basically they have a lot within them to basically overcome. They have to overcome so much more. These heroes and these video game characters. That's what makes it so. It's the ideal version of someone, and I just really love that we have these characters, and we can look up to these characters, and we may not even be a shadow of what these characters are and what they can be, again, because they're ideal, right? They're ideal versions. But that's why someone would draw fan art, because these characters are important to us. You know what I mean? They taught us the ideal, the best of what someone can be. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, we're gonna end it right there. Let me know what you want to talk about in any future videos, any subjects, any type of tutorials, what you want to see. Mostly just digital art. I work in Procreate and Photoshop, but mostly Procreate now. But yeah, any ideas you have, any topics you want me to talk about, let me know down in the comments. And like and subscribe, please. There's much more content to come up. See you guys next time.